Family, yay. Welcome back to the Big Blue Tea. We are live, effectively live, from the absolute chaos that is the tea room inside Lucas Oil Stadium.
Oh man, it is wild in here.
It really is. If you hear screaming in the background, don't worry. That isn't a fight. That is just probably a scout reacting to a 40-yard dash time.
Or a general manager seeing the price of a shrimp cocktail here in Indy.
Honestly, yeah. It is loud, it is sweaty, and the tea is piping hot today. The Giants' offseason is moving faster than I can even refresh my Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm.
I literally pulled a hamstring just trying to keep up with the rumors this morning.
It is a complete sensory overload in this building. You have the smell of deep heat muscle rub and very expensive cologne just mixing together in the air.
Right.
You have billionaires whispering in one corner. You have agents sprinting around like they're on fire. And then there's us right in the middle of it.
Right in the thick of it.
Exactly. This is the annual convention where grown men run around in spandex to determine their financial futures. But listen, we aren't just sightseers today. We are on a mission because the rumors surrounding New York are getting completely out of control.
Completely out of control. And look, we are not neutral observers today. You know this, family. We are bleeding blue. We are Giants fans through and through. The rumors are just flying.
Yeah, they are.
It's like, did you hear who they talked to? Did you hear we might trade half the defense? Did you hear we might take a running back in the top 5? It is enough to make you dizzy. I feel like I need a neck brace just scrolling through my timeline.
It is total emotional whiplash for the fans. But our mission today is to cut through all that noise for you. We have a massive stack of reports, cap sheets, and trade charts right here on the table that we are going to break down.
Let's get into it.
We need to talk about the great roster remodel. Because based on everything we are hearing here in Indy, this isn't just, a fresh coat of paint. This is a full-on HGTV demo day. We are tearing it down to the studs in some of these position rooms.
And I love a good demo day. As long as the house doesn't collapse on top of us while we're inside, we have a seriously packed agenda for you all. We have to address the Kayvon Thibodeaux trade rumors that are absolutely heating up. And spoiler alert, I am stressed about it.
Highly stressed.
We also have to talk about my absolute obsession with the number 5 overall pick. We need to scream loudly about the offensive line emergency. And finally, we have to follow the money because the salary cap is looking very, very different this year.
It's a massive shift. But let's start with the topic that is currently turning the timeline into a complete war zone. The pass rusher dilemma.
Oh boy.
The rumor mill is suggesting, and these are very loud whispers in the hallways here, that the Giants are genuinely debating whether to extend Kayvon Thibodeaux or trade him right now while his value is high.
Okay, let's unpack this right now because this is where I start getting emotional.
Deep breaths.
I'm trying. The premise is trade the young pass rusher now rather than paying him a massive mega deal later. I've seen the proposals out there. I've seen the mock trades from fans of other teams trying to absolutely fleece us.
Right, the armchair general managers.
Exactly. And I just want to say, for the record, trade Kayvon rumors are heating up. I would like to keep him if it's not a third-round pick. AD DJ Moore, LOL.
That is a very specific demand.
I am serious, though. I am not picking up the phone for a bag of chips. You do not trade premium talent for nothing.
I know you're serious. And honestly, while demanding DJ Moore might be a specific kind of fantasy, your skepticism about giving him away is actually backed up by the data we have sitting right here.
Tell me I'm right.
You are right. We are looking at a chart titled Trade Return Tiers, and it paints a pretty stark picture of the risk involved in moving a premier pass rusher before his second contract.
Walk the family through it.
Yeah.
Because I think people hear the word trade, and they instantly imagine we get this giant treasure chest of draft picks. Why is it so dangerous?
It is incredibly dangerous because the floor is much lower than people realize. The data classifies a risky return as getting just a 5th-round value back. That is your floor in a bad deal.
A 5th rounder?
Yes. If you trade a starter with Kayvon's production, a guy with double-digit sack potential, and you only get a day 3 pick back, you have essentially given him away for a scratch-off lottery ticket. Most 5th-rounders don't even make it to a second contract, let alone become impact starters.
Exactly. You are trading a guy who actually puts the quarterback on the ground for a guy who might, if he's lucky, make the practice squad. That is a losing proposition every single time.
Moving up the chart, an acceptable return is classified as a 4th rounder plus a serviceable rotational player. But to get to ideal value, where you actually feel like you won the trade from a front office perspective, you need at least a third-round pick.
And that is hard to get.
It is very hard to get for a player who is about to demand a massive payday because the trading team has to give up the draft capital and then immediately back up the Brinks truck to pay him.
And that is exactly my point. Unless we are getting an absolute haul, and again, I am manifesting the DJ Moore scenario, even if it's a total pipe dream, why are we creating a massive hole on our defense? We finally have a pass rush that can breathe, and people want to trade it away to save a few bucks.
Well, it comes down to the financials versus the roster needs. That is the tug of war. We have a chart here titled Kayvon Cap Hit versus Roster Needs. It acknowledges that if you trade him, you do save about $15 million immediately on the salary cap.
Which just sounds nice.
In a vacuum, $15 million is a beautiful number. That buys you 2 solid veteran starters. That is a lot of cap flexibility to fix other glaring problems.
But we do not play football in a vacuum. We play in the NFC East.
Exactly.
We play against Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts twice a year. You need human beings who can chase those guys down and tackle them. You can't sack Jalen Hurts with a stack of money.
That is precisely what the analysis points out. The chart weighs that $15 million in savings against roster holes to fill an edge depth after trade. If you trade him, the edge depth drops off an absolute cliff.
It's terrifying.
You are essentially creating a massive crater on your defense just to save some cash. So the ultimate question the front office has to answer is that $15 million worth having zero pressure off the edge?
No, it is not. This is what drives me absolutely crazy every offseason. We cannot win the cap space championship. They don't give out rings for having the cleanest accounting books. We want to win actual football games.
Right.
Unless we are getting a massive return, we aren't interested in creating another gaping hole on the roster just to balance the checkbook.
Right.
Keep him. Let him hunt the quarterback and figure out the money later.
That definitely seems to be the consensus among the sane part of the fan base. You just don't trade premium positions unless you have a replacement already in the building ready to go. But speaking of replacements and speaking of hunting the quarterback, let's pivot to the draft. Because if we are keeping the defense spicy, we need to talk about the number 5 overall pick.
Oh, yes. This is my favorite part of the show. I have a draft crush family, and I'm not hiding it anymore. I am planting my flag right here on the turf in Lucas Oil Stadium. Draft Sonny Styles at number 5.
Here we go.
I love Sonny, and his little brother, the Styles family, should be proud they're about to get paid, LOL. I am so serious. He is the truth.
I knew you were going to go there. I can literally see the excitement in your eyes across the table. But to be totally fair to you, the freak meter data absolutely supports your obsession.
Let's hear it.
We're looking at a chart here that breaks down his athletic profile, and it is, well, frightening is really the only word for it.
Tell the people why he is a freak. Give me the numbers. Because I don't think people walking around on the street realize how big this human being actually is.
Okay, so let's look at the RAS, the relative athletic score. This compares a player's measurements and combined results to everyone else at their position historically. Sonny Styles scored a perfect 10.0.
A perfect 10.
You literally cannot get a higher score. It is mathematically impossible.
He broke the entire scale.
He is 6'5", 244 pounds. That is classic linebacker size, honestly bordering on defensive end size in some schemes. And at that size, he ran a 4.46 40-yard dash.
A 4.46 at 244 pounds. Family, that is a literal refrigerator moving at the speed of a sports car. That is faster than some of our running backs.
It's physically nonsensical. It breaks the laws of physics. And the explosion numbers back up the straight line speed. He posted a 43.5-inch vertical jump.
Insane.
And an 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. This isn't just good athlete territory. This is alien territory. He fits the exact profile of what the Giants are hunting for on that side of the ball. Speed, violence, and versatility on defense.
But I always hear the pushback from the skeptics. They say, oh, he's just a workout warrior. He looks great in gym shorts and a t-shirt. Does he actually play football, or does he just jump really high?
That is always the most important question at the combine. And the pass rush pressure rate visual we have answers it with a resounding yes. We are looking at his advanced stats right now.
Read them off.
He posted 23.4 pressures per 100 snaps in one sample and 24.4 pressures per 100 snaps in another extended sample.
Those are elite numbers. That isn't just a guy being around the ball or getting a coverage sack. That is a guy actively destroying the offensive play.
Exactly. For context, getting pressure on almost a quarter of your pass rush snaps is disruptive on a completely different level. It completely validates that the freakish athleticism actually translates to the football field.
He isn't just running fast in a straight line.
No, he is running fast directly at the opposing quarterback. And he's doing it from all over the formation, from the box, from the slot, from the edge.
And that is the identity shift we keep hearing about from the coaching staff. The Giants want to be faster. They want to be violent. They want a defense that makes the opposing offense sweat before the ball is even snapped.
It's about intimidation.
Yes. Sonny Styles at number 5 is the perfect marriage of roster need and undeniable talent. I don't care about the positional value nerd saying you don't draft a safety or a hybrid linebacker that high. When a guy can jump completely over the offensive line, you draft the frick.
It is very hard to argue with that kind of athletic ceiling. You simply cannot coach someone to be 6'5" with four speed. You either have it or you don't.
And he has it.
He does. But shifting gears to the other side of the ball, all the speed in the world on defense really doesn't matter if your offense is getting completely bullied in the trenches. And that brings us to the loudest scream coming from the fan base right now.
The offensive line emergency. We cannot do this again, family.
Yeah.
We simply cannot watch our quarterbacks snaps next year running for their actual life immediately after the ball is snapped.
It has been tough to watch.
It's agonizing. We are hearing all these whispers about a run game first identity shift. They want to stop being the team that gets bullied. They want an offense where the quarterback doesn't have to play superhero and dodge 3 guys on every single down.
And that requires a massive change in personnel. You can't just stand at the podium and wish for a dominant run game. You have to go out and buy it. And specifically, you have to buy the very large men who move the pile.
Exactly. And I have a very, very specific demand for free agency. I'm going to lean in and yell it right into this microphone so the front office hears me. We want Tyler Linderbaum in free agency.
I see. We are going exclusively for the highly specific targets today. No vague requests on this show.
I am not asking, I am telling. We need him.
Well, the film and the analysis back you up once again. The source material we have highlights a massive offensive line right side emergency. The analogy used in the scouting report is absolutely perfect.
What does it say?
It says that buying a fancy, explosive running back to play behind a bad offensive line is like buying a Ferrari and driving it through a swamp.
Yes, that is exactly what it feels like. We have been driving Ferraris in swamps for years in New York. We draft these incredible skill players, these fast receivers and elusive backs, and then we watch them get form tackled 3 yards in the backfield.
It is a waste of resources.
Wow.
If the Giants genuinely want to shift to a physical, run-heavy identity, they need offensive linemen who do a lot more than just get in the way and hold blocks for a second. The phrase used in our notes is that they need guys who can relocate your ZIP code.
Relocate your ZIP code. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I want a lineman who picks up a defensive tackle and puts him in a completely different county.
And Tyler Linderbaum fits that run game identity perfectly. He is nasty, he is incredibly mobile in space, and most importantly, he finishes his blocks. He plays through the echo of the whistle. If you want to stop being the team that gets pushed around, he is exactly the kind of guy you open the checkbook for.
So we pay him. We pay him whatever he wants. Give him the keys to the city. But that brings us to the really scary part of the offseason, the money. We all know the salary cap has gone up, but money isn't infinite, even for the New York Giants.
This is where the cap jump reality check really needs to happen for fans. The NFL salary cap is now officially over $300 million. It's a massive, record-breaking number. Everyone sees that headline and immediately thinks, we are rich. We can buy everyone on the market.
I definitely thought that. I had already spent the money in my head before I finished my morning coffee.
But here's the brutal catch. Inflation hit the NFL exactly like it hit eggs at the grocery store.
Oh man, don't remind me about the price of eggs right now.
It's the exact same economic principle. You look at that $300 million cap and think you can buy the whole store, but then you see the new price tags on the players.
They went up too.
They skyrocketed. The old rules for contract prices are completely dead. Fans need to accept that the asking prices for players like Linderbaum or even solid veteran running backs will be significantly higher than anyone expected a year ago.
So paying $6 million for a rotational running back isn't crazy anymore.
It is the new normal. If you blink, your grocery cart is suddenly $180. If you blink in NFL free agency, an above-average guard suddenly costs $20 million a year. Percentage of the salary cap dictates the price, not the raw dollar amounts from 3 years ago.
Wow. Okay, so if we spend big on the trenches, which we absolutely must do for Linderbaum, and if we keep Kayvon like I'm aggressively demanding, the math gets extremely tight. Who goes? Because someone has to lose their job to pay for this.
This is what we call the domino effect. We looked at the likely roster cuts to free up that necessary space. And based on the shift to a run-heavy physical offense, the source analysis strongly suggests the slot receiver is the likely odd man out.
The slot guy. Really? But in the modern NFL, everyone throws to the slot constantly.
In the heavily passing-oriented NFL, yes, absolutely. But think about the specific run-game-first identity they are building. If you are running what we call 12 personnel, which is 1 running back and 2 tight ends on the field, you only have room for 2 wide receivers.
Right.
And those are usually your big outside guys who can block on the perimeter.
Right. You need the big bodies on the outside to set the edge for the run.
Exactly. So if your primary strategy is smashing the ball down people's throats with 2 heavy tight ends, paying a premium salary for a smaller guy who only plays in the slot is a waste. As the report perfectly puts it, it's like buying a chandelier for a tent.
Wow. That is a harsh image, but I totally get it. A chandelier is beautiful, it sparkles, it looks great on a highlight reel, but if you're living in a tent in the mud, maybe buy a heavy-duty heater first.
No, that is exactly the logic the front office is using. The heater is the offensive line and the run game. The chandelier is the luxury slot receiver who catches 6 underneath passes a game, but gets completely blown up when he tries to block a linebacker. If the market gets too rich for a slot-only receiver, fully expect the Giants to just walk away. They are prioritizing the trenches above all else.
Look, it hurts to lose playmakers. We all love a shifty slot guy making someone miss on 3rd down. But honestly, if it means I don't have to watch our quarterback get sacked 6 times a game, I will make that trade every single day of the week. I am so tired of the chandelier crashing down on our heads because the tent collapsed.
It is entirely about the efficient allocation of limited resources. You simply can't have elite players at every single position. And if the Big Blue Tea prophecy holds true, we are looking at a very specific roadmap for this offseason.
Let's recap the prophecy for the family, because if this actually plays out, we are going to look like a completely different football team in September. What are the tea leaves telling us?
Here is the grand summary based on all the intel, the charts, and the whispers we've gathered here in Indy. Number 1. Offensive line upgrades are the absolute priority, specifically targeting that right side emergency and potentially landing a big fish like Linderbaum to anchor the new run game.
Music to my ears.
Number 2, the running back room is going to change dramatically. It's not just about relying on one superstar back anymore. It's about building a stable, maybe a 3-headed monster to just constantly punish exhausted defenses in the 4th quarter.
Love it.
And number 3, the defense is getting significantly faster. That is the Sonny Styles factor. Speed, violence, versatility. No more plodding linebackers getting exposed in coverage.
And number 4, the chaos. We are going to see unexpected cuts. We are going to see beloved players potentially pack their bags because they are chandeliers in our brand new run game chat.
And do not forget the Kayvon decision. That is the ultimate wild card in all of this. If that trade actually happens, despite all the massive risks we discussed, it changes the entire draft strategy overnight.
It changes everything.
Suddenly, you might desperately need an edge rusher at number 5 instead of the freak Sonny Styles. But if they keep him, they have to find that $15 million elsewhere.
It is going to be a highly stressful month. I hope everyone listening has their blood pressure medication ready to go. But honestly, I am ready for the shakeup. We have been mediocre for way too long. If tearing it down to the studs means we finally build a house that can withstand a storm, then bring on the demo day. Give me the sledgehammer.
It certainly feels totally different this time around. There is a very clear, defined plan emerging, even if it is a painful one to execute. It is not just throwing guaranteed money at famous names to sell jerseys. It is trying to build a sustainable identity. Run the ball, stop the run, rush the passer.
It sounds so simple.
It is the oldest formula in football history, but we just haven't done it consistently in a decade.
A full decade. That is way too long. Okay, family, I need to know exactly where you stand on all of this. How much chaos can you emotionally handle this March? Are you ready to say goodbye to the flashy slot receiver if it means we finally get Linderbaum blocking up front?
It is a tough choice.
Are you ready to ride in the streets if they trade Kayvon for a bag of peanuts? Let us know.
It really raises an important question for you all to chew on. If the Giants do go extremely run-heavy, what is the single most important move to make it work? Is it paying the elite lineman, or is it drafting the explosive back? Because even with the huge cap jump, you usually can't fix both perfectly in one single offseason.
I say get the lineman. Relocate the zip codes first. The running yards will naturally follow if the holes are big enough. We are going to be glued to the Newswire family, and we will be back on the mics the second any of these rumors actually break. Until then, keep the tea hot, keep the faith, and...
Wait, actually, one last thought before we sign off. We didn't even touch on a massive underlying issue that could ruin all of this: the stadium turf.
Oh no, the turf. I completely forgot about the turf.
Think about it. If we are spending top 5 draft capital on a total freak like Sonny Styles, who relies on elite explosive jumping and cutting, and if we are paying massive guaranteed money for heavy, powerful linemen to dig their cleats in and block, we have to make sure the actual ground they are playing on doesn't destroy their knees.
Oh, you are so right.
It's a seemingly small detail, but in this great roster remodel, the actual floor of the stadium matters just as much as the players standing on it. You cannot park your new Ferrari in a swamp, and you can't run it on bad turf either.
That is a whole other hour of complaining we could do, but you are exactly right. Fix the turf, fix the offensive line, fix the team. Simple, right?
Simple on paper, very expensive in practice.
That is the Giants way. All right, that really is it for us from the Combine today. Until next time, let's go Big Bluey.
Just wanted to say a massive thank you for tuning in to Big Blue Tea.
Absolutely. And, a huge shout out always to Black Freezy TV.
Oh,
For
definitely.
the fantastic programming, the production, everything that makes this possible.
Yep, their work behind the scenes is just really appreciated.
It-
This has been Big Blue Tea.